at thezone1059.com.
Hey! Well, just like yesterday, I guess it's not much of an excuse, but it's true. Just like yesterday, I was laughing before the show began, so I'm slightly out of breath. Welcome in on this Wednesday, halfway point of the week. Got a frog in my throat, but thank goodness I got hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. And that is a good way to start the show. Welcome in, y'all. What you want to get into here on this Wednesday? Plenty to get into as we are, halfway point of the week here on a Wednesday and getting closer to the weekend, final weekend of regular season, SEC, college baseball, and all that jazz. So, and if I'm looking at it right, everything kicks up on Thursday, right? Yep, all the series are going to begin tomorrow because last weekend of the regular season, they all go Thursday through Saturday, so as to, have their Sunday to recoup and get ready to play those conference tournaments the next week, which begin. Most of them are going to begin on Tuesday, so it's a quick turnaround. Yeah, so we're going to get everybody in action beginning tomorrow. So one day closer to that, and another day with you here on the radio. Get on in here. You can be a part of it. I need you. If you've ever listened to this show, you know I need you. I need your feedback. So feel free to comment. Live stream is wide open right now over there. If you're watching the live stream on social media like YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, feel free to pop a comment in there. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. Hope you'll do that. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number 885-3776. And you can call me. That way I get to hear your voice. Everybody else does too. You get to hear your voice. All right. So call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. The number to call is 897-1059. 601 number 897-1059. Unnamed texter, first text of the day. We can see where our head is at. No pressure, Bulldogs or Diamond Dogs. Said it's time to sweep away from Como. Tigers, they're getting a broom out. Baseball emoji. And so whomever it is, this. Must have a sweep. Anything less than a sweep of the Missouri Tigers is a disappointment, right? Isn't that true? No, I'm with you. That's what they want. That's what they need. It'd be great, but the biggest thing is don't lose two up there. Sven, he's the first to comment today on the live stream on YouTube. Sven over in Berlin, Germany. Listen to this. He said, Hail State, everyone. Guess what day it is? It's hump day. I just got my tickets for the Kansas State, Iowa State game in Dublin, Ireland. He said, if it's like last year, I'm going to have a blast. So he went to it last year, and now he's getting ready to go to it again. This time it'll be Iowa State and Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland. It was Notre Dame and Clemson last year, right? Did I have that right? Didn't it involve Notre Dame? I could be wrong. Then he says, I have a serious question. Why did Van Buren go to LSU and Shapen return to State? It makes no sense to me. Shapen is a good QB, don't get me wrong, he says, but he never stays healthy. They should have made Michael Van Buren QB1. I don't know. I would say to you this, Sven, conventional wisdom and thinking in the era of the transfer portal, you just throw it out. You're looking at it from a practical, everyday life, grown-up decision-making standpoint. Very seldom do those things apply in a transfer portal. So you can't make sense of it. I think trying to is a futile exercise. How do you say that? Do you say futile or futile? Either way, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, look, the first text I got today mentioned Como. That'd be Columbia, Missouri. Y'all ever been to Missouri? You ever been to a football game at Missouri, baseball game, anything like that, basketball? You ever driven up there? Well, I'll tell you this. It's a pretty area. I think it's a little bit underrated. Campus is neat and everything. Pretty area. The worst, collectively now, the worst drivers on the planet are the ones with Missouri tags driving up and down that highway. It goes right through Columbia, Missouri. Other than that, it's a great place. Let's talk about it. Specifically, if you go, or maybe even Hoover next week, what are you going to eat? I know a man who has been around the SEC a bunch and knows the places to eat, and he's on your radio right now. His name is Neil Price, Hail State voice, that is. Play-by-play voice of Mississippi State Bulldogs on your radio. Hey, Neil, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're doing well.
Doing good. How about you?
As far as I know, last I checked, I'm okay. Last time I asked. All right, so it's off to Como, Columbia, Missouri for a weekend up there. Have you spent much time in Columbia before?
A little bit. Not extended time in the last several years, like what's coming up this weekend. In and out a lot with basketball, but they've been in since 12, so they've been around for a while. We've made a few trips that way.
Yeah. You ever been to a football game up there?
A few of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Been a while, but yeah, I think I've been to 3.
Okay.
So none with State, but all at Kentucky. I think we went 3 times.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I've been there once for football, and that was when Dak Prescott was playing. It might have been his senior year, but you weren't here then.
The windows don't open, and that's a big no-no for me. But other than that, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay, and is this first trip to Missouri baseball for you?
Oh, no, I've done that a few times, and it's been, like I say, it's been a while, but I feel sure at least 3 times with Kentucky out there.
Okay. I should have been able to put all that together in my head, Neil, but I sorry I didn't do it. A good host would have been prepared. He'd had already known those answers. You know what I'm saying? But, all right, so...
Well, it all gets away from me if it makes you feel any better. I've done it so many times now, it all gets away from me, too. So, But, it's... I've driven it. I've flown out there plenty of times. I will tell you, flying is much easier. I used to dread going for basketball because I can't remember many times going out there in January or February where it was a guarantee that you were going to get back home because of weather.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, once you get there, it's a nice place, and they're really nice people, some of the friendliest people I think I've ever met.
Yeah, very friendly. So, do you have a place to go eat, a restaurant, a cool food spot already picked out?
1 or 2, because the way this thing is going to go this weekend, you got 2 night games and a day game. Mm-hmm. So, and then you got, time tonight, obviously, when we get out there.
Yeah.
So I'll, anytime I go out there, Shakespeare's is always a good place, and you can get a pizza and just kind of hang out, and it's right there on the edge of campus and edge of downtown, and you get a good feel for its local culture, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And then they've got the same group, I'm pretty sure, owns both of these places. But there's a place called G&B Steakhouse, which is just kind of a little old small local place. And you go through a line, and they've got, 3 or 4 different cuts of steak, and you can get chicken or something like that in there, and you go through an order, and they bring it out to you. Of and they've got an Italian place too on the other side of town. It's pretty good. So when I go out there, some rotation or some group of three like that,
Okay.
I usually find a way to get into some of those.
Okay. All right. Neil Price on your radio. He's play-by-play announcer for Mississippi State. Headed to Missouri this weekend for baseball. So I know you've been to Austin with Oklahoma in the league also. Have you been to every SEC town as it is now in your career?
Yes.
Okay.
With those two in now, and I've not been to Oklahoma for football, but I've been out there for basketball.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I've been to all of them now.
Been to all of them now. Okay, so I know that Knoxville is close to home to you. That's like going home, and so maybe that can't be your answer. But do you have a favorite place to go on the road? That is, I mean, like food related. Like, where's a road trip you look forward to because there's a place to eat or places to eat that you really look forward to going to?
The two that immediately come to mind would be outside of Knoxville would be Nashville and Baton Rouge. Nashville just because it's such a big place,
yeah,
and you can get anything you want. And then Baton Rouge because the whole Cajun thing is just unique to a lot of other places, and it's kind of one of those deals when you go there. You're guaranteed you're going to get something that's different that you don't do every day. So I'd say those two are the two that immediately come to mind.
Surprised you didn't say College Station.
Well, there's one place there, and when I took you over there, you were really concerned for our personal safety, but you found out that it was pretty good when we got there.
So the Uber driver dropped us off in the parking lot. I thought it was a mistake. All of a sudden, I thought it was a setup. And then, about an hour later, I was glad I was there. It's some of the best food I've ever had. I mean, it really was.
Jalapenos and oil, man. That's all you need.
Well, is that what she said was in that?
That's it. Roasted jalapenos and oil. That's all it is. And they grind it up in a food processor and pour it in a bowl, and it is good.
Buddy,
yes,
it is tongue slap your hat off good. What Neil is referencing, y'all, is we go to this little hole in the wall place in College Station. That was the night.
In Bryan. It's actually in Bryan.
Yeah, in Bryan. That's the night I learned to just trust Neil. Just shut up, trust, and go with him. And they bring that out. Instead of like your typical queso, I'm dipping the chips in this stuff. And I'm like, man, this is some of the best stuff. And when I said, what's in this? She said, it's just jalapenos and oil. That's what it is. Sometimes the best stuff is the most simple. Okay. Underrated.
Hermanos Marquez, by the way. That's the name of the restaurant.
Say it again.
Hermanos Marquez.
Okay. Hermanos Marquez.
It is a hole in the wall.
Yeah. Potholes on the way there. Parking lot's not paved, but buddy, I was glad to be there once we got in. Neil, places around the league that might be a little bit underrated in terms of the food options that are there for visiting fan bases.
That's a good question.
Lexington?
I would start. Well, Lexington's big enough that you can get a lot there.
Okay.
I think the thing about Lexington is you go to the same places.
Yeah.
Because if you've never been there or you've only been once or twice, and you ask people who have been, everybody will tell you to go to 3 or 4 staples, and there's nothing wrong with those places. I lived there for 12 years, so I get to cheat a little bit. So there's a really good Mexican spot there that a lot of people don't know about called Mi Pequeña Hacienda, which that was a place we were regulars at. I took you in there, and you got the tacos, as you called them one time.
Yeah, the preacher's tacos.
Which is tacos al pastor. But, yeah, and then there's the places I used to go on a weekly basis, when I was working up there, little local spots like A.P. Suggins and Ramsey's, Meat and Three,
Yeah.
But I think Lexington can be a little bit underrated with regard to that because there are a lot of good local places there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think Auburn's a little underrated too. There's some good places in Auburn if you kind of look around a little bit that are not just Toomer's Drugstore.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a pimento cheese sandwich at Toomer's either, don't get me wrong. But Hamilton's just down the street is a good spot to go in and hang out. You might run into Charles Barkley occasionally in there. I went to a place called Bow and Arrow on the baseball trip this time that I'd never been to. That was kind of a Tex-Mex / barbecue, and it was really good.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a little underrated in that way.
Okay. All right. Auburn in that mix. Neil Price on your radio right now. Neil, do I remember you telling me you actually went into Jim's Barbecue on Highway 82 when you were driving over to Auburn, so you were in the middle of nowhere over in Autauga County, Alabama? Did I lose you? Neil, did I lose you? I believe I lost him.
There you are.
There we are. Neil, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim's Barbecue.
Jim's 82 Barbecue.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man. Right there outside of Maplesville.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you went in there.
And it's all that's there. There might be a couple of peach stands there and that place that sells barbecue, but it's worth stopping.
Yeah.
It got a big red roof on it. You can't miss it.
And
how I heard about it, and I don't know if the story's true or not, it's just kind of urban legend. What I heard was that when Bear Bryant was coaching at Alabama, he would travel up and down 82 a lot to get to where he was going to watch players.
Yeah.
And he'd stop in there and eat. And I thought, well, if it's good enough for him, yeah, let's try it. See what it is. It's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. And that's Alabama has a bunch of those really good barbecue spots that are sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Like you almost have to be going to it to get to it. That's kind of how that is, but it's on 82. I knew you had mentioned it to me. I couldn't remember if you actually went in there and ate or if you just stopped in and checked it out and kept moving.
And there was Alabama and Auburn stuff all over the walls in there, but you'd be shocked that you get in there too, and there was a little corner full of state stuff in there.
Uh-huh.
And people coming through, or again, coaches had come through. There were signed posters in there from when Coach Kroom was here. I think Coach Sherrill had a signed poster in there. It was pretty neat to see.
Yeah.
So you could tell there'd been some people come through there, or at least they've known people that it's legit,
Yeah, that's really cool. Hey, so you mentioned Nashville a minute ago. Like, for example, if let's say it's a football or a basketball trip to Nashville, I can't remember a football, and I can't even remember where we stayed. It seems like we stayed out near the airport. So
out by the airport.
Yeah. Does basketball stay that far away, or do you stay close to campus for basketball?
Basketball stays right there in the Marriott most of the time, behind Memorial Gym, where you look over into the football stadium. But, Nashville's one of these deals where the city is so big that depending on where you stay at, there's obviously downtown and there's plenty of stuff there. I'd encourage people to get off of Broadway and kind of explore, 2 or 3 blocks in the other direction. You'd be surprised at what you'd find. West End out by Vanderbilt's got plenty of places that have been around for a long time. But the place I think you're kind of setting us up for is Nadine's out toward out toward Hermitage. And it's just a little local spot that a buddy of mine who's lived there for a long time introduced me to because it was convenient to the airport to get in and out of town. And like I told you ever known a woman named Nadine that couldn't cook? I mean, it's a great place for breakfast now. It is a great breakfast spot.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. That was another one where I learned just trust Neil. Just go. If you pick it out, just go. Hey, before I run out of time, so I just thought, Neil, next week, hopefully this time next week, you're still broadcasting baseball from Hoover. SEC tournament's got a different format this year, so everybody's going, but this will be like old times for you going back to your Kentucky days, won't it? Following a team to Hoover.
Well, I went even when Kentucky didn't back in those days because I was working for Host Communications at that point, and they had a contract with the SEC to broadcast every game of the tournament for XM. And the years that Kentucky didn't qualify in those days, a guy named Dick Gabriel and I would go, and we did every game. So we'd get there at 7 a.m. in those days, and you'd go down to the dugouts and you do a couple pregame interviews, and you talk to some people, and then game one would start somewhere around 9 o'clock in the morning, I guess. and we'd walk out of there most nights at 1:45, 2 in the morning, go back to the hotel, sleep for 3 or 4 hours, get up and do it all again until you got to the weekend. But I always thought, I love the basketball tournament. I've never been to the football championship. I don't know what it's like. But I always thought it was the best run event, the baseball tournament was, and it was the one that I always enjoyed going to the most because you got to see a lot of people, and it was a good atmosphere, and that's a great place to have it. I mean, I know they've toyed with moving it a few times, but I think where it's located, the parking, the proximity to Birmingham, all that stuff, I don't know that they could have it anywhere that would be better.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And there's some renovations that you're going to see that they've done. I think they devoted a lot of money to it, and they've got about 75% of it done. But I don't think it's going to look all that much different, but there's just some new bells and whistles at the park this year, right? I believe.
Well, that's news to me. I didn't know that they had done anything inside. Of course, I hadn't been in a long time, but the last time that I went, one of the first years I was here, I just went over as a fan and watched State play somebody one year, and they had just built that space down the right field line,
right? Yeah.
Where they had kind of the fan fest and the indoor stuff for the kids and all that. And I wouldn't be shocked with the league sticking around there if they hadn't done something to it, because now that's kind of the only tenant. Hoover High may still play some big football games over there. I think Conference USA used to play their soccer championship there, but other than a handful of college games a year, the tournament's kind of the thing. So I wouldn't be shocked if they haven't done something with a new agreement to kind of modernize it a little bit in places.
Sure. Neil, safe travels to Columbia. We'll be listening. Thank you, buddy.
All right, Matt. See you.
See you, man. That's Neil Price. You'll hear him on the radio beginning tomorrow night, calling that series for state baseball at Missouri. He'll find a good place to eat. I enjoyed that. Just getting started. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, is it? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. You get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with.
And coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all over the great state of Mississippi. Good to be with you. Hope you enjoyed that conversation with Neil. He's got to hustle, get on the airplane. They got to go to Columbia because leaving today, I guess, because series begins tomorrow for the baseball team, and it is a big one, Obviously, Missouri at the bottom of the league, but they just swept Texas A&M for their first 3 SEC wins of the year. So they're 3-24 in the league coming into this, and it's obviously last regular season weekend, and they've got nothing to lose. And State does have a lot to lose, so State's got to play with a little pressure and play well and win a series and all that stuff. So I'll be interested to listen in. Neil's got to get on the road and go. Grumpy text the show, said, Matt, Neil is always interesting. Grumpy enjoying the C Spire service. And then says Grumpy's going to be happy with 2 wins in Missouri, Hail State. Yeah, get 2 wins up there somehow, some way. I mean, there's your deal. There's your benchmark. Just somehow, some way, come home with 2 wins. You do that. Play well, you do that. And you're going to feel like you're in the tournament, maybe, with a little breathing room going into the SEC tournament next week. You go lose this series, you better make you a fantastic run throughout the week next week to feel like you're in. Really, I mean, and I say to feel that way. You don't know exactly what they're going to do. I don't. I just, when it comes to State, anything that requires any human element, any committee anywhere to sort of put you in or out, this is not like, Chicken Little deal here. It's not. I'm just looking at it in terms of reality. You better take every excuse out of their hands that they have to keep you out. Any excuse to keep you out, you better take it away. That's just the way I look at it. Yeah, and congrats on the C Spire service for you and the family. Grumpy, you're going to love it. C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. Let's do headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related, that's who you want to see. And you can get in touch. Just go online at mortgagemanms.com. Buying that new home, refinancing, anything like that. Go see Went, and the folks over there at the Mortgage Man Group. It's mortgagemanms.com. You saw this yesterday, but it was after we got off the air, so you and I didn't get to talk about it. But in a historic sweeping decision, baseball commissioner Rob Manfred has removed Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players from Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list. Of course, the all-time hit king, Pete Rose, and Shoeless Joe, they were both stained by gambling. That's the big no-no. They were not eligible. Now they are eligible to be elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. So there you go. What do you think? Pete going in? Should he? Will he? I don't know. And we got a little more of the NFL schedule, and it includes this. Put this one on your calendar. The Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys, they always have a game on Thanksgiving, and they usually host it, right? Your Dallas Cowboys will welcome the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day. CBS making that announcement this morning. The Cowboys and the Chiefs, November 27th, Thanksgiving Day, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Tee it up. Tee it up. I'm in. And dadgum, I don't have to travel because we're playing the Egg Bowl on Friday. Tickled about it. All right, so those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. I wonder how Beaver feels about that matchup on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know. Cue it up. Let's ask him. Hey, B! Tell Bill. Bill, leave him alone. He's working. What did Miko say? Miko on the Country Pleasing text line says, Matt, my Eagles, EAGLES, are going to light those Cowboys up to open the season. I saw that one too. And it's in Philadelphia, right? Cowboys traveling to Philadelphia for the regular season opener September the 4th. Oh, and the Chiefs? Okay, so check it out. Man, look, Miko, don't ever accuse the NFL schedule makers of not knowing what they are doing. I mean, look at this. So basically what? Opening day. You get Cowboys, Eagles. I mean, defending champs at home hosting the Cowboys. All right. So every eyeball who has ever thought about watching a football game is going to watch that one. Then Thanksgiving Day. Yep. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs in Jerry's World. Thanksgiving Day. Prime time. And then this, too, came out. The Chiefs are going to host the Broncos on Christmas Day. I'm talking about Santa Claus, open the gifts, BB guns, and don't shoot your eye out that morning. And then Chiefs and Broncos Christmas Day. Like, they know what they're doing. For sure. Hey, look here, too. Earlier, I made a comment about State going to Missouri this weekend. And I like Missouri, I like Columbia. The worst drivers, I think, on planet Earth are those who drive up and down that highway. It goes right through Columbia, Missouri, especially the ones with Missouri tags. They are awful, all of them. None of them know how to drive. None of them have any sense how to operate a vehicle on a public highway. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona, says the worst drivers on the planet are people on I-40 and 17 here when it snows. He said you can set your watch by the inevitable 3 to 100 car pileups coming into the mountains as soon as snow starts sticking. Yeah, but but Jason, don't they have an excuse though? I mean, they're having to deal with snow. The drivers in Missouri I'm talking about, they ain't dealing with nothing. Bright, sunny, beautiful day, no rain, can't drive. Can't do it. All right, over to the phone line, the Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Ready, Teddy, on line 1. What's up, Teddy?
Matt, how you doing, man?
Just right.
Man, I could have sworn I've seen you in person in the Metro Jackson area before.
Why?
Because
you think that's the worst
you
driver?
act like you have never been around. Yeah, you act like you've never been around the worst drivers.
I'm just.
I tried to switch my insurance to lower it, and when I hit, put all my information in and zip code and everywhere I live and where I work and how much I travel, it just responded, "No, sir." I mean, they just wouldn't do it.
No consideration.
I mean, no. And here, people, we have to sit at green lights for a second to let everybody get through running the red light.
Yeah. Hey, Teddy, what is it? Here's the only issue I have with people in and around Jackson as far as the drivers. They're not as bad as Missouri, but it's the use of the blinker or the lack of the use of the blinker. It's they don't realize they can turn right on red most of the time at a red light. But also, there is like a rash of people who will run up behind you going 90 miles an hour and start flashing their lights at you to move over. And it might even be like I'm not going slow. I might be passing somebody in the left lane of the 4-lane highway, right? And I'm going 80, 81, 82. They run up behind me and flash my lights trying to get me to move on. Who taught them they can do that?
Well, we lived in a me world long before NIL.
Yeah, I think you're onto it. And, when you're naturally rebellious, Teddy, somebody gets on your bumper and starts flashing their lights at you to go faster, what are you going to do? You're not going to go faster.
Oh, I'm going to slow down 2 miles an hour and set the cruise.
That's how I feel about it, too. Teddy, good to hear from you.
Yes,
Thanks for the call.
Thank you, man.
He said he sent all his stuff in to switch insurance, and they realized he's riding around Jackson. They just sent back, "No, sir." Is it that bad? All right, rolling along here with you on this Wednesday in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
At Davini, we are your hometown Kubota dealer. We're the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. That means we've been doing it better longer than anyone else. We have 2 locations in the metro area to serve you, Madison and Jackson. When I say hometown, it means something to us.
We are hometown. We are hometown. We are hometown.
We support our local schools, community organizations, and local municipalities. Shopping and keeping business local keeps our community strong.
We are hometown.
At Malone, we protect what matters most because roofing is our passion. For 4 generations, Malone has consistently shown that roofing is more than a job. It's a career and their life's work. With the help of 3D home mapping software, phone or video conferencing, and more, Malone is able to adapt to any environment to provide you a quality work experience. If you were denied a claim, Malone can help. Schedule your free storm evaluation today. Find them online at ecmalone.com or 8337-MALONE today.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog. I know a thing or two about the value of a strong team. Farm Bureau works hard to get me through thick and thin. They've got exceptional customer service and competitive insurance rates that keep me protected. If you aren't already on the team, it's time to join Farm Bureau. Visit favrates.com for great rates on home and auto insurance, or find a local agent at msfbins.com. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer. Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Do you really need to study game film in bed?
That's what they said in line at the bank, too. And the office, the dentist, the barber. It's just, it doesn't get more important than this.
You're gonna do great.
Well, we'll see. Listen up.
Hey, Dad.
You can call me Coach.
It's amazing what C Spire's nationwide 5G network can connect. And now, connect with the latest 5G phone on us. C Spire, inspired by you. Requires purchase of 36-month plan and new line activation on eligible wireless plans. See cspire.com for details.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Hey, whether it's about winning the game or even losing the game, you're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. I'm here. Beaver is here. We're going to prove that shortly. Tyler says on the Country Pleasing text line, that's Country Pleasing Sausage. He says, Matt, I definitely put the fine people of New Orleans up there on the worst drivers list. He says, and also if there's any rain falling at all, the Jackson Metro might top it all. That's according to Tyler. Dog Tired said, he says, Matt, you recall after living in Germany, he says the Germans on the Autobahn flick their lights or get behind you with their left blinker on so that you move and slide to the right. Yeah, drove on that. Again, this is so long ago. It's 25 years ago or going on it. And, well, it is 25 years ago. I do remember that, driving on that. But I think I remember also knowing the reputation, hearing people talk about it, the drivers on the Autobahn and hearing the reputation of it. So when I would see people coming, I'd go ahead and move over. Get out of their way. We drove fast on there too, just to see what it was like. Dog Tired said also, my hilarious pawpaw, he was friends with Jerry Clower, used to say, while driving on 2-lane roads, he says, well, I see we have a taxpayer. He said, yeah, he's decided that he's taking his half out or out of the middle. That's funny. Thanks for sending along. Well, let's see, we got a taxpayer. How about that? All right. This is long overdue. But, you know, State just won their series this past weekend, took 2 out of 3 from Ole Miss. And you wanted to hear what Justin Parker sounds like. Here is Justin Parker, interim head coach, new head coach, Mississippi State baseball, discussing that series win.
There at the end, you turned to a freshman in a really, really big spot there. And
now that's the question. That's not him. That's the question.
In a whole lot of moments like this, and he comes in and he gets you out of a major jam. I mean, what can you say about Ryan to get you out of that there?
I mean, what great poise. What great poise. And just making one pitch at a time. You know, not that you're trying to protect the kid, but this is such an intense rivalry, and he had already pitched against him in Pearl, and you know, he's been as good as anybody in that pen, and just felt like we had some depth and some health back there to be able to go to other guys that have maybe been a little bit more experienced. But man, we needed all of them, and he was huge for us tonight.
So there you go. That's what he sounds like. Now let's see what Beaver sounds like. We'll try it again. I think I caught him last time. He was on the phone with Teddy, so I blamed it on Bill. I shouldn't have. B.
Matt Wyatt, so I was just in the middle of texting you. I got a message from Chicken Hawk.
Oh.
He says, quote, "Tell him to shut up because he's on the phone." Go.
You mean we have Chicken Hawk on the phone?
We got a rare call from the Chicken Hawk.
Man, how are you?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good, getting a little bit better. But let me tell you a little something.
Right.
You know that I am the ultimate professional.
Yep.
And especially because I drive an 18 wheeler.
Uh-huh.
Well, I did drive an 18 wheeler, but you know my wings got clipped because of all these surgeries and stuff on my back and my neck. But what used to tickle, look, there's fools everywhere, Bob. I don't know who's the biggest fool. Up on that I-95, you know, them Yankees, man, once you get north of the Mason-Dixon line, they act like them people from the school up north over there. They act like they got up, bumped their head in the morning. But what used to tickle me, I used to ride around with my cruise, man, on about 85, had my seat sitting all the way down on the ground, my Kool-Aid reflectable, look at yourself in the mirror, California Chip Highway Patrol sunglasses, and then fingerless hand socks, and just barely could see over the steering wheel. And I'd be out there in the left lane, you know, just cruising by the 85, and some fool like you was talking about come up behind me and be jumping out to the side like he just had to go somewhere. So I get over and let him on. Then he come over in front of me, slam on his brakes, and I say, "Ups, brother, you just do not know what kind of fish you just hauled on this line." That joker get up there. I get up around 90 and 95, and you can see them. They start sweating. You hit that dollar bill, and man, they was looking for a place to go. They had no idea that a big chicken rig with a chicken hawk sitting low on the ground could run 115 to 120 miles an hour. But that's what I used to get my kicks off of.
This guy, I can just see. The feathers fly out of the truck when you get at 100 miles an hour on a chicken truck.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, seriously, now it'd be hard to do now.
Yeah.
There's so many doggone people out there on that highway, and they haven't spread the road out big enough for all the people. But, you know, back in my glory days, look, 100, I mean, well, basically cost the chicken plants. Tell Chicken Hawk to be down here about 12, we'll have it sitting on the dock. Well, they didn't actually say it was Chicken Hawk's chicken sitting on the dock. Because I'd get down there at 12 till I learned better. And then, you know, about midnight, say this is on Wednesday, I finally get loaded at midnight, and I still had to be in L.A. at 5 o'clock Friday morning. So they put it, but you know what?
What? Hey, you cut out. You said, you know what? And then you cut out.
Oh, yeah. I said, you know what, though, bro? I could handle that pressure. And let me tell my man out yonder, I'm still waiting on my daggone snowman, cuz you're going to make me come out there. And, yeah, they do act nuts out there, but one thing about it, once a bunch of them idiots get twisted up like two pretzels, they got gates. They close the road down up there to keep that crap from happening. But anyway, Hail State, I love y'all,
You
and
too,
I may
Chicken.
start trying to call because Lou Bell's finna retire. You know, she's hanging up for teaching. So me and her going to be fighting over who cuts the grass.
Mm-hmm.
So I may be able to talk more while I'm out there on the lawnmower.
That'd be great.
With my bikini on, trying to get that suntan.
Please, no.
right,
Please,
brother.
no. Thank you. Good to hear from you. He said he got his chicken truck up to 95 to 100. And they were looking for someplace to go. What else did he say? Oh, yeah, he still had to be, you know, to get loaded till midnight on Wednesday night. He still had to be in L.A. with those chickens on Friday morning at 5 or whatever he said. He said, but you know what? I could handle that pressure. That's great. Good to hear from you, Chicken Hawk. Real treat. That is a real treat here at the end of our number one. Oh, hey, and by the way, this is appropriate. Out of the blue, and this is not planned, out of the blue, we get a call from Chicken Hawk on the same day, May the 14th, that is National Buttermilk Biscuit Day.
Buttermilk biscuits, here we go. Sift the flour, roll it dough.
It is. Look it up.
Stomp your feet, move your butt to the funky beat.
I'm not making it up.
Buttermilk biscuits.
National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. May 14 ushers in National Buttermilk Biscuit Day to celebrate this high-rising breakfast staple. And you use buttermilk biscuit to clean your plate. That boy, Sir Mix-a-Lot, for those of y'all that are young. Whatever happened to him? Well, look, that means that hour 2 is coming up. In hour 1, we talked to someone who calls baseball on the radio. And in hour 2, we will talk to someone else who calls baseball on the radio. And we will learn a little bit more about National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. And we'll further our discussion about who are the worst drivers in America, collectively. I think it's the ones driving through Columbia, Missouri on Highway 70, like those people in Missouri with Missouri tags between St. Louis and Kansas City, and they go right up there on 70 through Columbia. And I'm just telling you, it's rough. That's just been my experience. So you can be a part of the show in hour 2, which is coming up in just a bit. Just know that if you're on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, drop a comment in there. Sven and Will and Hunter and everybody, I'm seeing your comments. We'll get to those. Also, your text messages coming in on the Country Pleasing text line. Number to text is 885-3776. 885-3776. All right. Back after this.
We are your hometown Kubota dealer. We're the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. That means we've been doing it better longer than anyone else. We have 2 locations in the metro area to serve you, Madison and Jackson. When I say hometown, it means something to us.
We are hometown. We are hometown. We are hometown.
We support our local schools, community organizations, and local municipalities. Shopping and keeping business local keeps our community strong.
We are hometown.
Getting your car repaired is no easy task, and it takes someone with knowledge and certification. Clinton Body Shop takes pride in perfection and has more certifications than any shop in Central Mississippi. With 2 locations in Richland and in Clinton, their OEM factory certified staff is just a phone call away to restoring your car to its original condition. Learn more today at ClintonBodyShop.com or call 601-924-2159. Choose the team Mississippians have chosen for years with their car. That's Clinton Body Shop in Richland and in Clinton.
As tariffs are heading our way, so are low prices and big discounts. Only at Hallmark Hyundai Flowood on Lakeland Drive. While other dealers are using this opportunity to raise their prices, we're here to protect your buying power and not take advantage of you during this time of uncertainty. With transparency pricing, no added markup, and no gains. Remember, high value, low cost, no stress. All can be found at Hallmark Hyundai Flowood on Lakeland Drive. Shop us at hallmarkhyundaiflowood.com.
Hey guys, do you think you are low testosterone? Now is the time to call the Men's Clinic in Madison and schedule a free blood test. If you have a loss of energy, loss of muscle mass, and or poor sleep, call the Men's Clinic in Madison, an anti-aging clinic for men at 601-607-7869 or go to themanthing.com. If you're low testosterone, call the Men's Clinic in Madison today. Need a quick stop that's more than just a gas station? Fleetway Market has you covered, from fresh coffee and hot breakfast to snacks, cold drinks, and quality Shell fuel. Fleetway keeps you moving. With locations across Mississippi, including Pearl, Madison, and Clinton, you're never far from friendly service and local flavor. Fleetway Market, fueling your day the Mississippi way at Fleetway Market. Locally owned and always convenient. That's Fleetway Market.
Every business opportunity begins with an idea, and every idea begins with a person. When it comes to business banking, Bank Plus puts people first. That means listening to every dream, every goal, every obstacle. Then we offer solutions. Our local bankers are here to help you make the most of every opportunity. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise. Learn more at bankplus.net. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Ryan with Gutter Masters. When it comes to gutters, experience matters. For over 20 years, Gutter Masters has been the trusted name in gutter installation. While you can find gutters anywhere, the quality and service we offer are simply unmatched. Our team doesn't just install, we ensure that your home is protected from water damage with our top-of-the-line gutter systems. Plus, our maintenance plans and gutter guards keep your gutters functioning properly year-round. Call us at 601-503-7755 today and experience the difference, or head over to our website at guttermastersllc.com. Gutter Masters, where quality meets experience.
Man, ever since Coach got his new phone from C-Spire, we're undefeated.
Yeah, he's been using it everywhere. Scouting other teams' game film at the store, watching strategy videos at lunch. He even records himself calling plays in the backyard.
Whoa.
Listen up.
Hey, Dad.
You can call me Coach.
It's amazing what C-Spire's nationwide 5G network can connect. And now, connect with your choice of free phone. C-Spire, inspired by you. 5G not available in all areas. Capable device required. See cspire.com for details.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Pluto TV has all the shows and movies you love, streaming for free. That means laughter is free with gut-busting comedies like The Neighborhood, Boomerang, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller. Mystery is free with countless cases to crack from Criminal Minds, Track It, and Matlock.
I'm a lawyer, like the old TV show.
And thrills are free with heart-pumping hits like The Walking Dead and Pulp Fiction.
Correct the mundo.
See with a free Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never. Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
We are good to go.
With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 105.9.com.
Back with you. Hour number 2 of the show. Here we go. Good to be with you. Hey, yeah, and this is backtracking a bit, but thanks to Sven for reminding me there in hour number 1 that game that was played in Dublin, Ireland last year was Florida State and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won the game. Yeah, kind of started that precipitous slide for that Florida State program. Came into the year ranked in the top 10 or something like that, right? The joke. Georgia Tech showed that. Now I remember, Sven. And in case you're tuning in and you're like, why is Matt mentioning this? Well, what it was at the beginning in hour 1, Sven told us that he went ahead and bought his tickets to go to this year's game in Dublin, Ireland, which is Kansas State versus Iowa State. And I was trying to remember who it was last year. And I came up with Notre Dame and Clemson. Wrong. It was, in fact, Georgia Tech and Florida State. So thanks, Vin. We had a conversation with Neil Price, who is the play-by-play voice for Mississippi State baseball on the radio. In hour 1, he's getting ready to go to Columbia, Missouri this weekend for State's baseball series. They'll start tomorrow. All the series begin tomorrow. Go Thursday through Saturday because you have a conference tournament next week. We got talking about food spots around the league and that sort of thing. Hale State fan commented and said Sophia's in Columbia is his favorite restaurant. A place called Sophia's. What kind of food is it? Is it Italian? Of course, we had headlines. We'll get into some of those coming up. We were even treated to a call from the man, the myth, the legend, Chicken Hawk. Called in, and Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona says, tell Mr. Chicken Hawk if he comes out here, I will personally take him to the top of the mountain and he can get his own snow 11 months out of the year. Jason, are you tired of hearing about that every time Chicken Hawk calls, reminding you you're supposed to send him some snow? Maybe we can get Chicken Hawk out there. That'd be great. And I just got a text here on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. I had some jalapeno and cheddar this morning, among other things, for breakfast. It's really, really good. So text me on the Country Pleasin' text line like what Denzel did at 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Baseball stat of the day from Denzel, according to him. There have only been 2 games in the entirety of Major League Baseball history where a pitcher went exactly 2 1/3 innings, allowed exactly 12 base runners, and surrendered exactly 11 runs. Which, it's a really neat stat. I would argue that we've used the word exactly too many times because you can only surrender exactly 11 runs. But I digress. But get this. Both of them were by the same guy, Tanner Houck. I think I'm saying that correctly, the former Missouri Tiger, right? Or are they saying Hawk? I think it's Houck. Tanner Houck this season. Now, Denzel, how does anybody keep up with that kind of thing? How is it possible that that is a stat that's kept up with? I am amazed by it. It is uncanny. But I'm more, amazed. Am I amazed? I'm more impressed that somebody's keeping up with it. How? Where is this computer? 2 games in the entire history of Major League Baseball where the pitcher went 2 1/3, 12 base runners, and 11 runs. 11 earned runs. It's happened twice in the history of baseball for 2 1/3. Both times, it's this season, same pitcher. What in the world is that? And then Patches O'Houlihan, he's on the all-name team. He texted the show, and he said, evidently the over-under for SEC teams was released. They have Alabama at 9.5 wins. What do you say, Matt? I think, once again, they have them overrated. I believe they're going to open against Florida State. That could be loss number 1. They're not losing to Florida State, Patches, I'll tell you that. But 9.5, yeah, I don't know. But I got to tell you, I'm so immature sometimes, Patches, that frankly, as soon as you started your text with the word evidently, all I can hear and see in my head now is WLBT did a post-game interview with Fred Smoot after we beat Auburn in comeback fashion in 1999. And on the local news, the soundbite from Fred Smoot was, well, it's a 4-quarter game, and evidently Auburn didn't know that. I can't see the word evidently without thinking about that soundbite from Fred Smoot. From one Bulldog to another, from one draft pick to another, but this one was in baseball, and this one was a first rounder. He is Jay Powell, former Diamond Dog, World Series winner for the Marlins. He's a coach. He's a slayer of ducks. I imagine he eats them too. And he's also a radio man these days, and he's on your radio. Talk a little baseball right now with Jay Powell. Jay, happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well.
Well, anytime I can follow a Fred Smoot story, it's a good day.
Yeah. And I've got a few, but that one's at the top of the list. He said that grinning from ear to ear. It's a 4-quarter game, and evidently Auburn didn't know that. And you know what, Jay, regarding baseball, some people gave up on State, and it's a long season, and evidently they didn't know that, right?
That's exactly right. I saw a stat the other day said we are sitting at whatever, May the 8th or whatever, and if you had told me Mississippi State and Tennessee would have the same number of series wins, I'd have thought it had been a joke, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's crazy. So a simple question for me, Jay, just kind of, from your perspective, have you noticed anything obviously different? I mean, other than the results, but like obviously different about the way the team's going about it since the coaching change?
Well, look, anytime and I've been on a team in major leagues where we had a coach get fired mid-season, and it's tough because players, one, you feel responsible for it. And it's kind of tough on you. But anytime you have a coaching change, you see a little jump. I feel like that, if anything, there may be playing a little freer, a little looser. And that's not, I don't necessarily think that's a reflection on them. It's just, with a change, sometimes you feel like you got nothing to lose. And so I do think there's something to that. I think they are a little freer, and they're playing, a little more open. And I think that's what you've seen, especially offensively, with some of these, times with runners on base that we struggled so much. It seems like we're a little more I would say laid back, but free is the way I like to describe it, where they can just kind of go out and play the game.
I don't know if Coach Polk coined this phrase and this idea where he would always say, well, that's baseball. And now we credit him with that. But that certainly applies to Missouri and Texas A&M last week, doesn't it?
It sure does. And I tell you what, man, I'm glad that happened because you do not want to go over to Missouri and they're 0-27.
Yeah.
You talk about a trap game. Good gosh. So I'm glad they got out of their way or got those wins out of their way. But still going to be a tough series. I mean, the thing I think that Mississippi State's going to have to fight is you go from the environment you just left with Ole Miss and at Duty Noble, and you're going to go there, and it's going to be a bad high school environment. I mean, it is what it is. So you're going to have to self-motivate. You're going to have to know what's on the line. You're going to have to make sure you bring it and not stump your toe out there and end up losing 2 out of 3.
Right. Jay, will you go up there?
I will not. Coach won't let me.
Okay, gotcha.
He said I'm too big for the press box, and he said that Neil and I will not fit in it, so I need to stay home, and he's going.
That's fantastic.
That is a true statement.
I mean, I don't doubt it one bit.
No.
Hey,
I'm gonna be listening.
Okay, I will too. The traveling with a college baseball team, this is probably the dumbest question you've ever gotten. But the traveling with the college baseball team versus like the traveling with a pro team and everything, are there any similarities at all?
I think it is a little bit now. Now, obviously, in the big leagues, you don't touch your luggage. You get your room key. It's brought to you. But now, I mean, heck, if they're not busing, they're on a charter flight. There's some similarities, and that's what I tell all these guys now. That are on these NIL deals. I'm like, look, man, you're think about what you're leaving. Because now you're getting basically paid to play college sports in a great environment.
Yeah.
In a great location. Your travel's good. You're going to go get on a bus in the Carolina League or the, some low A ball team, and it's not going to be nearly the same as what you're used to.
Right. When you were at State, did y'all bus mostly to road games?
We bused everywhere other than Maine. I mean, we bused everywhere. The only time we got on a plane is when we went to Maine for a regional, and we went to we played a preseason tournament up in Minnesota at the Metrodome, and we flew there. But everywhere else we bused.
How about that? In the majors, yep. Jay, in the majors, did you have a favorite place to go on the road?
As far as like town?
Yeah, I mean, just like, town and maybe environment also.
Well, Chicago was always really fun. I mean, because you're playing at Wrigley Field. That was a lot of fun. The city's a great city, a lot of good places to eat. There's, I always said a bad day in the big leagues is better than any day in the minor leagues. So, there was a lot of really good places. Some of the worst ones, Milwaukee.
Okay.
You get, and really, some of those places just because, the town was a little lacking. That was Old County Stadium. So, I mean, it was, it was not great. Detroit wasn't great, but there's some really, really nice places, obviously.
Yeah, sure. What was living in Miami like when you were with the Marlins?
I loved it. We lived in a place called Weston, between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And it was really nice, to be honest with you. It was kind of right on the edge of the Everglades.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we ended up getting up with a little boating company, and they would let us use a boat on the off days. And, I mean, you talk about catching fish. We would go out in the Everglades and, I mean, hit those canals. And, I mean, we'd fish all day and just constantly catch fish after fish after fish.
Wow.
So I enjoyed it. I really did like South Florida. I liked the people. I liked the food. I mean, it was just, to me, it was enjoyable.
That's cool. So, like, even during the season, because it's such a long season, during the season on off days, you're going fishing in the Everglades.
Yeah. We would take, I'll never forget it. You know, the boat was kind of like one of those little fish and ski type boats. And we would take it and we called them French fries. And I think they're like a little centipede.
Yeah.
And no weight. And you'd pull up to you'd be in these canals, and they would have these cuts coming out of the Everglades that's just draining all kind of bait out of those Everglades. And so you'd pull up to a cut, and you'd sit there and you'd fish that cut for 10 or 15 minutes, 5 or 6 fish, whatever. Yeah. And a lot of times you could sit down there and kind of look over at it, and you'd see the bass, just hanging right there waiting for stuff to come out of that cut. And it was a lot of fun to fish it. It really was. And we had a blast. Of course, you had to dodge the alligators and pythons and everything else that's been let out there. But it was cool, man. It's a cool area.
That's neat. And I think what's neat about that, Jay, is I think I was this way growing up as a kid, big baseball fan, and watching games on TV and watching the break and coming up watching people like you play. And it never really occurred to me to stop and think, I wonder what these guys are doing in their off time. Like yesterday, he's fishing in the Everglades. Tonight, he's pitching out there in the 9th inning. I never think of that. People don't think of that when they watch these major league players.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's crazy is I'd come home for the All-Star break every year, and you'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Okay. And it would feel like you had 3 months off. And I remember folks here, they're like, you only have 3 days off. I'm like, you don't understand. Like 3 days in a row off in a major league season is incredible. Yeah. And, because you never had more than 1 day off a week at most. So, but that's nowadays, it's a long weekend. But, man, you talk about cramming some stuff into 3 days, we could do it.
I bet you did. Jay Powell on your radio right now. Jay, were you able to follow a little bit of what Jake Mangum was doing his first few days up in the bigs before he pulled a groin muscle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was doing what everybody said he would do if they had given him a shot 3 years ago. I mean, that's the kind of the way the game is now, and some of the issues that I think is in the game. But that's a story for another day. But, yeah, I mean, Jake's a difference maker. He always has been a difference maker offensively. He's always been a difference maker defensively. And it's hard sometimes for teams to put a number on that analytically. Yeah. But that's what he does. He gets on base. He wins. He does things to help you win games. And that's what Jake has always done his entire career.
Yeah. Do you think as soon as he gets well, assuming he does get well, he's able to go right back up there and pick up where he left off? I mean, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, and that's what we all are, because he was doing so well. Yeah. And, it's I'll be honest now, when you come out of an injury like, in any injury that you have to set out, it's really tough to kind of get back in a rhythm. It takes you a little time. So I think the key is going to be, do they let him have that opportunity, or do they send him down and let him get back kind of going again? That question I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, because if that kid gets an opportunity, he's going to be a good major league player. And it's everybody and their mothers seems like has been fighting for him, and finally he gets an opportunity, and it's kind of stinks, what happened, because he was playing very well.
Yeah. In your decade or more in the majors, Jay, did you ever have an injury like that interrupted a season for you?
Oh, yeah. I had it my rookie year, actually. I came up in my first major league win. I ended up straining my intercostal muscle in my rib cage. So I ended up missing a month with that. And, after that, though, honestly, like when I went on the DL, I was pretty much shot. He's on the DL, so he's probably gonna have arm surgery. And that's kind of the way I was brought up. You basically, if you're not out there pitching, you're giving somebody else an opportunity to take your job. Mm-hmm. So you basically go until you can't go no more. Yeah. And that's just kind of the way we were brought up as players. And so when I went on the DL, most of the time it was shoulder surgery, elbow surgery, or something that was going to put me out for a substantial amount of time.
So it sounds like, you can really, empathize with what Jake's going through. Rookie year, early injury, and you're out about a month, or he's going through the same thing.
And he's, and it's like I said, I came back and I had some rehab outings and did okay with that, and they activated me, and for the most part I was okay the rest of the year. But hopefully, then they're going to do the same thing with him, give him some rehab outings and get him back up there and let him have an opportunity, because I think he proved enough to the team that they're at least intrigued. They're like, okay, this kid can really play. Yeah. Like, we need to see a little more of him, because he was doing some pretty special things when he got hurt.
Yeah. Good deal. Jay, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I regret that I won't hear you on the radio this weekend. I've been listening to more games than I've been watching this year. But the silver lining is I will get Coach Polk for 3 games.
That's right. And what's better than Coach Polk in Missouri, and as he calls it, a closet of a press box.
That's right. He has a unique way of describing things, and he does not hold back. I love it.
Nope.
It's great.
No filter.
No filter. Good stuff. Jay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, anytime, man.
Yeah, man. Talk to you soon. That's Jay Powell, former first-round draft pick out of state. I don't get starstruck too bad. I don't have that gene, but and it's easy with Jay. He's so down to earth, but it is cool to talk to a guy who won a World Series and was on the mound for Game 7 and, threw pitches to Barry Bonds and Tony Gwynn and the like and all of that. But still, I'm not so sure that the highlight of the conversation isn't Coach Polk told Jay, I'm going to Missouri. I'm doing all 3 because you and Neil can't fit in the broadcast booth together. He told Jay, the Missouri Stadium, a closet of a press box. Oh, man. And I don't know if y'all saw this. I saw this on social media this past week, but Jay said that pole down there in the plaza in short right field at Duty Noble, in that really cool Adkerson Plaza down there corner, he says that ought to be called the Pokey Pole. Name it after Coach Polk. I don't know if we're going to get Coach Polk's blessing or not, but I love it, the Pokey Pole. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Plenty of time left. We'll keep it up when we come back after this. Stick around.
Do you really need to study game film in bed? That's what they said in line at the bank, too. And the office, the dentist, the barber. It doesn't get more important than this. You're gonna do great. Well, we'll see. Listen up.
Hey, Dad.
You can call me Coach.
It's amazing what C Spire's nationwide 5G network can connect. And now, connect with the latest 5G phone on us. C Spire, inspired by you. Requires purchase of 36-month plan and new line activation on eligible wireless plans. See cspire.com for details.
Discover Live Oaks Golf Club for the 2025 golf season. Just minutes away from Jackson, their beautiful 18-hole golf course offers memberships for endless golf and affordable daily rates for a quick round. And dine all the time at Roosevelt's Restaurant, which is open to the public. Enjoy lunch Thursday to Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also dinner Thursday and Friday nights 5 p.m. until close. And grab breakfast Saturday mornings from 7 to 10. Call 601-982-1231 to book your tea time or meal today. Live Oaks Golf Club, home of the best greens and the coldest beer.
Hey, y'all. Sound and Communications is the leader in video walls for churches and businesses. So think about your lobby, churches, businesses, schools. Sound and Communications is the leader for video walls, as well as audio, visual, and lighting, all powered by Sound and Communications. Visit soundcomav.com, locally owned Mississippi company for over 60 years.
This Memorial Day, turn up the savings at Cowboy Maloney's Home Store. Buy more. Save more is back. The more you buy of select appliances of $396 and up, the more you save, up to $1,200. Plus, save up to $500 on select adjustable Sealy and Tempur-Pedic mattress sets and get the perfect night's sleep every night with up to 60 months interest-free financing. Hurry in this Memorial Day. Only at Cowboy Maloney's, the store that gives you more.
Have you ever wondered what you're here for? There have been times in my life when I thought it was something that it really wasn't. I tried chasing alcohol and women and sports and found that all of those were empty. And then I found my purpose to be a worshiper of the one true King. Hey, come and find out how men can worship the Lord at Hickory Ridge Baptist Church. Check us out online at hickoryridge.net.
At Davini, we are your hometown Kubota dealer. We're the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. That means we've been doing it better longer than anyone else. We have 2 locations in the metro area to serve you, Madison and Jackson. When I say hometown, it means something to us.
We are hometown. We are hometown. We are hometown.
We support our local schools, community organizations, and local municipalities. Shopping and keeping business local keeps our community strong.
We are hometown.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's giving me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
When it comes to sports talk, this is the station that goes all the way. This is Mississippi's home for everything that's sports talk. That's ESPN 1059 The Zone and online at thezone1059.com. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Matt Wyatt is in the house on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team. It's been a busy day on the phone, too. With guests on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment, Madison, Jackson, your Kubota dealer. It's been a busy day on the phone. Guests, phone calls, Chicken Hawk even called. That's been fun. So I have not been able to really talk to Beaver that much. And I want to ask him about National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. That's a true story. It actually is. According to the National Day calendar, today, May the 14th, is National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. Beav, you like biscuits? He said, yeah, he gave me a thumb. Okay, thumbs up. Somebody else on the phone? How about Jay Powell? Did y'all enjoy that? I did too. The Polk stories cracked me up. What's the best thing to put on a biscuit? May 14th, National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. Celebrates this high-rising breakfast staple. Whether you enjoy them with gravy or with butter and honey, National Buttermilk Biscuit Day is a day to enjoy a food holiday, easily incorporated into all your meals today. Okay, yeah, all right, RT says molasses butter, and I know what you're talking about. It is some kind of fine, like especially like the homemade stuff. Who was it? Wayne, listener Wayne, gave us that sorghum. Mm-hmm. Man, it's good. I'll tell you what I like is honey. I'm a big fan of honey. I just am. I like honey on a biscuit. Let's see here. Yeah, Sven, I don't really know. I don't know who comes up with it, but it is a thing, okay? Sven is in Germany. He says, who comes up with all these nonsense days? And then don't tell me somebody gets paid for that. I probably. Russ! I'm going to start. That's what I'm going to start calling you, Russ. I'm going to say your name as if I'm Clark W. Griswold. Russ! Right here, Dad. Oh, hey. He says the best thing to put on a biscuit is Karo. Bring it on. Bring that on, Russ. Bring it on. Karo syrup. Here's what it says. Biscuits are made using baking powder or baking soda as a leavening agent. A what? See, you ever heard of unleavened bread? Remember that? This would be leavened. A leavening agent rather than yeast. A typical buttermilk biscuit recipe contains flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, butter, buttermilk. Yeah. They are often referred to as, quote, quick bread. No, they're not. No, they are not. I am old enough and have eaten 8 million buttermilk biscuits. Not once have I ever heard the term quick bread. It says they call them quick bread, indicating they did not need time to rise before baking. What was that old joke I heard? Somebody forgot it. This woman made biscuits and they were flat. Came out flat. And somebody said, what happened, Mama? And her excuse was, she said, well, I guess they squatted to rise and got cooked in the squat. I don't care who you are. That's funny. While being made, the dough is beaten and folded to incorporate air, which expands while baking, causing the biscuits to rise. Before the American Civil War, biscuits emerged as an inexpensive addition to meals. Sturdier bread products soon became popular as people realized it absorbed the gravy on their plate better than plain bread. Soon, a new family favorite, biscuits and gravy, was created.
Now buttermilk biscuits, here we go. Sip the flour, roll the dough. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Move your butt to the funky beat.
Come on.
Buttermilk biscuits.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Is Beaver even old enough to remember Sir Mix-a-Lot? He may be too young for that. Yeah, so Karo, some of that grain, sorghum, and sugarcane syrup. I like jelly. Also, so if you take a biscuit, you put something in it. What's the most popular? Now, it's not rhetorical, but what I'm saying is, I don't know that there is a definitive answer on this. It's just really, I'm just sort of wondering out loud. But I did it this week. I had to leave early one morning, go do something. So rather than eating breakfast at home, I go through and I got gas station food, and do not bat an eye at it. Because you and I both know some of the best sausage biscuits and bacon, egg, and cheese and all that are coming out of those kitchens in your local gas station on the corner. That's what I got. But wouldn't you think that just the plain sausage biscuit is probably the number one sold? Now, Sven over in Germany is taking issue with this idea of biscuit. He says, first of all, the whole United States has no clue what a real biscuit is. He says here on YouTube, the closest thing I had was in Baton Rouge in front of Tiger Stadium in the Mississippi Riverside of a small stand there. Say, if you give a French policeman a U.S. biscuit, you're in danger of getting arrested. Well, see, but don't they, Sven, like in Europe, is a biscuit like a cracker or a cookie? Because if it is, what I'm saying is our biscuit is better. Who doesn't want a better biscuit? Listen, I would say probably sausage biscuit is the most popular. Then after that, it would probably be like sausage, egg, and cheese. And then number 3 would be what? I'll tell you what I got recently, and I never get it. I just don't, but it was good. It was just bacon biscuit. I said, give me one of those biscuits and put a bunch of bacon in it. Good. And do that again. All right, Kenny Don't Call Me Ken says tomato gravy and biscuits. Yeah, okay. There was a restaurant in Tupelo several years ago. They've shut down and moved on, but I don't know what the issue was, but I'll tell you what wasn't the issue was their tomato gravy and biscuits. Good night. It's one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. Magic Mike says the best thing to go on a homemade biscuit is homemade plum jelly. Bring that on. I'll tell you what else, Mike. Raise your hand if you know what dewberries are. Y'all know what dewberries are? They're those wild, like blackberry type things. They grow wild. Like go down the train track, walk, pretty soon you'll see some somewhere. And beside the tee box at the golf course. But don't pick those. Sometimes your favorite redneck buddies, they don't want to go all the way to the bathroom, so they just go out here beside the tee box. So don't eat those berries. But they'll be there. What I'm telling you, you know what I'm talking about, dewberries. And some of the best, breakfast I've ever had was homemade biscuits. And like a whole pot of those dewberries we'd picked the day before, cooked down. Now, they have some proper, like some chef somewhere will have a proper name for what that is. We called it cooked down. Just cook them down. That meant turn on the heat, maybe put a little water in there, maybe, and just until the point that they're not berries anymore. They're just this wonderful, dark, purple, sugary goodness down in the liquid down in the bottom of that pot. And you let that cool and put that on your biscuits. Yeah. Jason in Flagstaff says, dang it, whoever said butter and molasses reminded me of my great-grandpa who used to eat huge platefuls of homemade biscuits dipped in Cairo syrup mixed with peanut butter. Now, hold on just a minute. I think it was my buddy Russ over here on Facebook who said Cairo. Russ? Okay, Jason is originally, he's from Mississippi up in 𝐌𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐢 area, 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐞𝐚𝐮 County. And he said, so his granddad take platefuls of biscuits, dip them in Cairo syrup mixed with peanut butter. Never had it. Want it right now. Denzel said the best thing to put in the biscuit is that thick cut country ham with some sharp cheddar cheese. Bring it on. Yeah, dewberry cobbler. RT said reduce the berries. We had dewberry cobbler. We called them cook them down, so maybe that's the proper name. Reduction. Dewberry reduction. I think I just named our band, RT. Let's start a country music band, and it's going to be called Dewberry Reduction. Stick around.
Man, ever since Coach got his new phone from C Spire, we're undefeated. Yeah, he's been using it everywhere. Scouting other teams' game film at the store, watching strategy videos at lunch. He even records himself calling plays in the backyard. Whoa.
Listen up.
Hey, Dad.
You can call me Coach.
It's amazing what C-Spire's nationwide 5G network can connect. And now, connect with your choice of free phone. C-Spire, inspired by you. 5G not available in all areas. Capable device required. See cspire.com for details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
As tariffs are heading our way, so are low prices and big discounts. Only at Hallmark Hyundai Flowood on Lakeland Drive. While other dealers are using this opportunity to raise their prices, we're here to protect your buying power and not take advantage of you during this time of uncertainty. With transparency pricing, no added markup, and no gains. Remember, high value, low cost, no stress. All can be found at Hallmark Hyundai Flowood on Lakeland Drive. Shop us at hallmarkhyundaiflowood.com.
Ranco Transmission is a third-generation family-owned business, proudly serving Flowood and the Jackson metro area for over 50 years. At Ranco, they specialize in high-quality transmission repair and are known throughout the community for their integrity, expertise, and personal service. For decades, Ranco has stood as a symbol of reliability and professionalism in the world of transmission services. Online at rancotransmission.com or call 601-939-9184. Ranco Transmission, servicing your transmission. Foreign and domestic.
At Davini, we are your hometown Kubota dealer. We're the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. That means we've been doing it better longer than anyone else. We have 2 locations in the metro area to serve you, Madison and Jackson. When I say hometown, it means something to us.
We are hometown. We are hometown. We are hometown.
We support our local schools, community organizations, and local municipalities. Shopping and keeping business local keeps our community strong.
We are hometown.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
And wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
No, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's go time. Let's go. With the Matt Wyatt Show. Ready to talk sports the Mississippi way with you. So get in on the conversation and tell him what you think. Right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. They are your home team. Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Jason in Flagstaff said, oh man, I miss those gas station thick bologna and cheese biscuits back home. And then he said, P.S. about Europe, I don't know what they call them, but how they make what we call biscuits is much, much better than ours these days. They still make them how the old timers did with the full, fluffy yeast bread deal. Okay, well, maybe they are better. But Sven confirmed that the biscuits over there, they're kind of like a chocolate chip cookie here. See what I mean? We're not on the same page. Now, regarding that term, Dewberry Reduction, and I said there's a good band name, and Kenny Don't Call Me Ken said that would have to be a good, if you name a band Dewberry Reduction, that would be a bluegrass group. And see, Beaver would like that because he loves bluegrass and the banjo. He loves it. Right? No. He hates that. He would prefer I never hit that button again. But I do have a button on the soundboard that I don't even have to ask him. I know it's one of his favorites. And if I could just talk to Beaver for just a minute, I might be able to see. Beav?
Matt, Wyatt.
How you is?
I'm all right.
Busy day on the phones over there, huh?
Yeah, a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, a little bit more than usual. Well, I got something for you, sir. You were alive for this, Beaver, even though you're just a young whippersnapper. Do you still feel like a young whippersnapper? Be honest.
I don't know what a whippersnapper has ever been.
Okay.
So I've never really felt like one.
Okay, good honest answer. Good honest answer. You were alive for this, though, Beaver, on this day, May the 14th, 1998, the final episode of on NBC. He said it. He said, I heard him say it on NBC. The last one. The last time, Beaver, that you ever watched a Seinfeld episode that you hadn't seen was exactly ever how many years ago that is on this day, 1998. Do you remember that experience?
I do.
Do you remember where you were?
I was in my room in Pearl, Mississippi. I was in 9th grade. Just wrapping up 9th grade in a few days.
Were you sad that it ended?
Yeah.
You were. Do you remember what a 30-second commercial would cost you in the Seinfeld finale on this day in 1998?
No.
Try a smooth $2 million.
Two. Good Lord, that's Super Bowl commercial numbers.
It sure is, isn't it? And that was 98 we're talking about. Okay, now, there's lots of different indicators about how huge a phenomenon Seinfeld was. But we're talking May of 1998, you wanted a commercial in it? $2 million for 30 seconds. I mean, it was this. Beaver, is Seinfeld the Super Bowl of sitcoms?
I guess I have to say yes, since it's still my favorite.
I have looked it up before. I didn't this time, but I've looked it up before, the whole, plot of the finale. But wasn't it, am I remembering right, it was a longer episode and it ended with the whole thing being a dream or something like that? Or wait a minute. Jail? It had to do something with jail.
Yeah, they got put in jail. Because their plane got grounded and they watched as a man got carjacked.
Okay.
And they arrested him on the Good Samaritan law. If you see someone, if it's safe to do so, you must assist them. And since they just stood there laughing at this large gentleman, that's why they went to court and got put in jail.
Now, I don't know if this was a part of the finale or whatever, but RT just texted and said, I loved it when Kramer did the dishes while showering. Was that the finale or something else?
No, that was before that. He wanted to stay in the shower, so he had Putty help him install a garbage disposal so he could wash his dishes while in there.
Oh, man. Beaver, how in the world did they come up with that stuff? I just cannot wrap my head around Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld sitting down and writing all those, coming up with all those things. Okay, this might be an unfair question, but it also might just simply be a difficult one. Beaver, were there ever any unfunny episodes of Seinfeld?
Unfunny. Like, there were certainly ones with a lot more laughs than others. Like, I still am not a big fan of the first couple seasons, really.
Okay.
I mean, there's some funny there, but I really thought, for me, the height of it was seasons like 7 through 9.
Later.
Which coincidentally, Larry David was not a part of.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think it was after 7 he left.
Okay. Gosh, I don't guess I realized that. So what? Seinfeld continued to write it with a new co-writer or something?
Yep.
What did Larry David leave to go do?
I don't remember what he did immediately.
Yeah. Then
But
Curb Your Enthusiasm thing started at
yeah. And now he's gone the way of political kook, like so many.
Yeah, right. Hey, so the other thing about Seinfeld is probably not talked about a ton was how, frankly, Beaver, especially in those seasons you just mentioned, the latter ones, every time they had, like a guest star or, whether they were an existing headliner or not, but the other characters that they wove into their stories around the main characters, these people that popped up, how they always seemed to nail it with who they cast for those things. You think about all the different actors who came through who played Jerry's girlfriend or George's love interest or Kramer's friends or the guy behind the counter at the soup Nazi thing or or whoever. Anybody that popped up in those roles, it's like they always nailed it. They never missed on one. It's incredible. This day, 1998, final episode of Seinfeld. 8 years later, the same day, final episode of West Wing on NBC. That's a show I never watched, Steve. I never watched one episode of West Wing.
I didn't either.
Did you ever watch The Nanny?
No, I couldn't. Fran Drescher's voice couldn't handle it.
They ended that one on this day in 97, the year before Seinfeld, but that was on CBS. And on this day in 89, you were just a widow guy. They ended Family Ties, Michael J. Fox and company on this day in 89. So May 14th is the day that a bunch of high-profile shows called it quits, but certainly Seinfeld at the top of the list. There's your understatement of the day. Now, what's RT referencing? He said you'd have to be insane to eat that hot dog. What's he referencing right there?
No, this is a perfectly sane food.
What? Was that the final or was that a different one?
No, that was a different one.
Okay. All right.
That was Lloyd Braun. He had gotten out of the mental institution, and Kramer was trying so hard to salvage his feelings that Lloyd was going to order, or he was going to eat a hot dog that was there since the silent era. It had just been sitting there forever.
Wait,
and he ordered it
in the theater.
And the guy, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He ordered it in what?
And the guy told him, "You'd have to be insane to eat that." And Kramer ran over. This is perfectly sane food. And then he took a bite of it himself, and he got sick and threw up.
Yeah, okay. It had been there. So the hot dog had been there since the silent era. Just think about that for a minute, Beef. Oh, man. How about this? Possum Neck Joe says he met the guy who was the soup Nazi in Austin, Texas. Met him. Joe, did you get a picture? Or was this before the era of everybody's got a phone and can take a selfie? That's cool, though. Yeah, and Rick says it on Facebook, a good one to go out on right here. He says, "You mean it's been 27 years since Seinfeld? Hard to believe." And he said, "It's still one of my favorites to watch." Well, it is just about everybody else's too, Rick, because in those 27 years since it waved goodbye, there's been very little that even could hold a candle to it. Certainly not recently. All right, that's it for today. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here in the Bureau. See you tomorrow.